Hi everyone, 𝘁𝗶𝗴 here, and here are my 5 top tips for spring. So my first tip is don't ignore zigs. Now we have longer days and higher temperatures. It's those upper layers that warm up first, and for that reason the carp can spend lots of time off the bottom and suspended within the water column. So a zig rig presents a hook bait right at the level where the carp are sat. Tip number 2 is don't ignore the margins for similar reasons as I talked about in tip number 1. The shallower water in the margins can often be warmed up quicker than the main body of the lake. Also, carp like to get in the margins, especially when there's lots of reeds and bulrushes. By rubbing themselves on these stems, they can rid themselves of any leeches or parasites they may have picked up in the colder winter months. Tip number 3 is don't go crazy with the bait. I know we can have really warm days at this time of year, but the water temperatures are still fairly cold and the carp aren't exactly feeding with a great deal of gusto. Often just a handful of bait is enough to induce a take. Tip number 4 is pimp up your bait. I like to include a liquid food additive such as the 𝘁𝗶𝗴𝗀 compound to my boilies. That way, just a small amount of bait packs lots and lots of attraction and emits lots of food signals. This creates an attractive feeding situation without the risk of overfeeding. Tip number 5, and following on from pimped up baits, I like to continue that theme over onto my hook baits. At this time of year, I do favour high attract, high visual hook bait, and I do think they do seem to score better than match the hatch type hook baits at this time of year. So there you go, that's my top 5 tips for spring.